Alright, 8.1b. I'm still talking about central tendencies, and we're just going to go over 4 examples. So the first one says, write a set of data with 6 numbers that satisfies each of the set conditions. First one is that the mean is greater than all but one of the numbers. So when I find the mean, I add up all of my numbers and then divide by how many I have. Well, I know I'm going to have 6 numbers, so I'm going to divide by 6. But I got to figure out what numbers I could add up together so that all of my numbers were smaller except for one. So if I picked some 5 small numbers, picked one for all of them, and then I picked a big number, like 7, if I added all of these up, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 7 gives me 12. And I would have 12 divided by 6, and that gives me 2. And if we check, my mean of 2 is bigger than all of my numbers except for 1, which would be that 7. Okay, for number 2, a set of data that has no mode. So if it doesn't have a mode, that means that no numbers repeat. They're all going to be different numbers. So I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, number 3, a set of data whose mean is 50, median is 40, and mode is 20. If I want my mode to be 20, that means I'm going to have at least 2 of them. So 2 of my numbers are going to be 20. Then I want my mean to be 50. So if my mean is 50, that means that when I add them all up and divide by 2, it's got to, or sorry, 6, because I've got 6 points, not 2. When I add them all up and divide by 6, I should get 50. Then it also says that the median is 40, so my middle number must be 40. But since I only have 6 numbers, there is no middle number. So I need to make sure that when I add these 2 numbers together right here and divide by 2, it's going to give me 40. So the middle of 39 and 41, that would give me 40. So let's check and see what I've got this adding up to so far. I've got 20 plus 20 plus 39 plus 41. See, that would give me 120 so far. Now, if I want my mean to be 50, going back to this side over here, that means when I divide by 6, I have to get 50. So if I call this an x right here, that's my total of my numbers. If I multiplied both sides by 6, I would get x equals 300. I want all my numbers to add up to 300. If I have 120 so far, that means I need 180 more. So I could do 180. 80 and 100. When I add up all those numbers, I get 300, divide by 6, and I get 50. So now all 3 of those things are true. Okay, last question. On her first 5 history tests, Yoko received the following scores. What test score must Yoko earn on the 6th test so her average will be a 90? So if we set this up in order to find the average, we would want to add up all of her scores, so that would be 82 plus 96 plus 92 plus 83 plus 91. But she's got one more test, and we don't know that score yet, so we will call it X. Then, in order to find the average, we need to take all those 6 scores and divide by 6. And she wants it to equal 90. She wants to get an A. So in order to solve for what that last test score needs to be, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm dividing this whole side by 6. I want to get rid of that 6 on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. 6 over 6, that's 1. That can cancel out, and I'm left with this whole thing right here, I'm going to add all these constants together so I don't have to rewrite them every time. When I add all those constants together, I get 444. And then I still have plus x at the end. Then 90 times 6, that is equal to 540. Now, to solve for x, the last thing I need to do is subtract 444 from both sides. And I get x is equal to 96. So Yoko would need to get a 96 on her last test in order to get the 90 that she wants.